Alright guys, welcome to the Tenmagnet and Cajun low-budget podcast in which we drink beers and answer questions from people on the internet.
That's right. I'm Cajun.
I'm Tenmagnet.
Hopefully this will be the first of a series of podcasts we'll be doing. We only have 10 minutes. That's the limit on YouTube, so we're going to keep it under that. We have a couple questions to answer, so let's get right into that.
Yeah, let's just start right away. So the first question is from a fella named Libido, and he says, what is the best way to be super consistent in the field, in a bar, as far as state and energy level are concerned? For example, most nights are great, but there are those bar nights where I just don't feel like talking to anyone, and they suck.
State is before we even answer this question, I think we should discuss what state actually is.
Yeah.
You guys have all had situations, whether it be playing sports, whether it be talking to a girl, whether it be any sort of situation where you just felt like you were in the zone, you know? Like, oh my god, I'm feeling so good, everything's going really well. That, in a lot of ways, can be described as being in state. It's just basically being in a positive frame of mind, being in a good place that is conducive to what you're doing. There's certain tricks you can do to get into that state. A lot of it is basically just being in a good mood, which can be induced by laughter, having a hang with your friends and having an inside joke or something, which is basically what we do to get ourselves in state, me and Chris. We have these games we play. One of them is Jaggering, which, if you've read my blog, you know about. It's essentially dancing like Mick Jagger.
Which is basically dancing awesome.
Yeah, dancing awesome. Mick Jagger is one of those guys that can get away with dancing like he does.
You can get away with anything.
Well, he can. And dancing especially when you go back in the 60s when he first started doing this shit. But if you look up Dancing in the Street, which is a video on YouTube by Mick Jagger and David Bowie, that will give you a good impression of what Jaggering is. There's one scene where he jumps out of a door and does like these moves where he's doing like this and all this shit. That's basically what we do when we're out, but there's kind of some rules to it. I'll be like...
Yeah. So the way we play the game is, at any time, I can say to Derek, or Derek can say to me, do your best Jagger. And this is actually inspired by a YouTube video.
We had it first.
We did it first, and then we saw this YouTube video, which inspired the actual game part of it.
Right.
We Jaggered before that.
Yeah.
But do your best Jagger, and he has to do it at any given time. Even if he's like talking to the most beautiful girl in the bar, Derek has to Jagger. And I will actually deliberately ask him to Jagger at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
Kind of to create a challenge, but also because that kind of thing actually improves his chances to a certain degree. If a girl is into him,
depending on the time,
Jagger, he has a way out. The way out of a Jagger. So if I ask him to tell him to Jagger at the wrong time, his way out is he'll just say, "Yeah, man, I'll have whatever you're having," and just sort of ignore the question. And then I go to the bar and I get to buy him whatever drink I want him to drink. And then he has to do it. So I give him a shot of vermouth and Tabasco sauce.
Oh, my favorite.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And so he gets to choose. He gets a choice. He can Jagger or he can do a shot. So I might bring him back the drink, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, Chris. Cheers."
Yeah.
We have a nice little smile, and he shoots it back. And if he can hold his liquor, then he gets to go forward. But I got a little victory.
And with vermouth, I can't. He'll do this at the worst times too. I'll be like getting a girl and be like, "Yeah, come here," and going to make out with her and be like, "Hey, do your best Jagger, dude." And I'll be like,
Or there's the time when Derek had left the bar with a woman, and I was watching. I saw you leave. And I was on my watch, and I was like, okay. Figure it takes about half an hour to get home, and then Derek's probably they're gonna have a glass of wine or something like that. They're gonna chat a little bit.
Listen to records.
An hour and a half later, between 2 hours, maybe 2 hours later, I send Derek a text message. Do your best Jagger, and you were in the middle of something, weren't you?
Yeah, I got it on the bed. I got the text and I was like, "Motherfucker!" And she's like, "What's the matter? What's going on?" I was like, "Nothing." And I just got up and was like, "Woo-hoo!" They do the dance and shit. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's my mating dance. So don't worry about it." And anyway, you got me on that one.
That was awesome. Anyway, Jaggering, awesome way to keep your state up. Awesome way to just because it just looks really confident and really fun. And what happens is the women in the bar, they see you and they're like, what the heck are these guys up to? These guys look like fun. They look like they don't care. Yeah. And you cannot be self-conscious when you Jagger. You cannot. You won't do it right if you're self-conscious at all. And that lack of self-consciousness just broadcasts itself basically the whole room.
Girls want to have fun when they're out, and they're more likely to talk to the dudes laughing and having a fun time on the dance floor than the dudes standing in the bar and going like this, looking around like, yeah, I look cool. I look cool.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work, so.
All right, so we have another question. A guy named Unrated asks, how do you game when you're above average in the looks department?
Ask Braddock.
Yeah. Yeah, Henrik and Braddock, Rocker and Braddock can answer that question. Me and Derek really don't know anything about it. In fact, sometimes when I'm getting, sometimes my game only really works when I'm not that attractive. Mm-hmm. If I start to get too attractive, I actually deliberately sit on the couch all day and eat fatty foods.
Do you?
Or let my hair grow really long. Or grow like a silly mustache.
You know what I do? I'll actually shave the top of my head like a bic, with a razor, and then get a comb over.
Yeah.
And a mustache, just on purpose. Like I got the horseshoe.
Just so that your game still works.
So it still works.
It's calibrated perfectly for a guy who's pretty unattractive.
On being ugly.
Yeah.
And this is why this is here too. No, in all seriousness, if you're a good-looking guy, you can get away with a lot more. You can skip some steps, assume attraction, go direct, and kind of, give off the impression that you're the type of guy that is used to women being attracted to him, and this situation is no different. And you can do that pretty believably when you're good looking. When you're not, girls will test you on that. And I think you should always assume attraction, whether you're good looking or not. But with guys that actually are, you can skip some steps there, and it's a little bit easier for you.
And you have to do some comfort. It's really a lot to do with comfort. It's about talking about yourself. It's about doing qualification, where you ask a woman, basically, you get her to impress you, and then show that you're impressed by it, and show that you're interested. Mm-hmm. And those are the kinds of things that really help when you're better looking than average. And a lot of the time with the attraction stuff, you'll get advice on the forums or wherever about how to make women attracted to you. And a lot of the time, if you're a good looking guy, a girl will be like, why is this hot guy doing these dumb things to try and impress me?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
She'll think you're kind of a loser, that you're trying too hard. And trying too hard is a deal killer. And you can come across like you're trying too hard easier if you're a good looking guy than you are if you're a less attractive guy.
Yeah.
Because we actually do have to try hard sometimes.
We do. It's actually interesting. One of the only problems that good-looking guys get that other guys don't is they get the player vibe a lot easier.
Yeah.
And that's something that you really need to get into comfort to fix. And so, keep on that.
So before we wrap up, we did a awesome trip through. We went to Dublin and we went to Glasgow, and it was amazing. It was really cool. We got to speak at Trinity College Dublin, which is where Isaac Newton gave speeches on this is what gravity is.
Yeah.
And we got to teach phone game, which is kind of not.
Yeah. You taught phone game.
I taught phone game.
I taught inner game.
Yeah.
So it was
either way, not exactly Isaac Newton stuff, but it was a great experience. And I told every girl that I knew, basically, I spoke to
from speaking at Trinity College that weekend. Yeah, that was a good DHV right there. Went great though. Me and Chris did some surfing and stuff. Had an awesome time in Ireland and Scotland. And we got a little bit of the travel bug, so we're going to be doing this again, not in Europe this time. We're going to be going to South Africa.
Yeah, we're going to Johannesburg, South Africa. We're doing a boot camp in February, and there's only 6 seats available, so it's probably going to sell out. But we're really looking forward to it, and frankly, our goal right now is we want to go to the ends of the earth and try and do these boot camps. So if you guys, anybody out there is from some backwater country,
Timbuktu,
we're interested in coming and traveling, and it should be awesome. It should be a lot of fun.
You can get 6 guys together. Fuck, we'll go anywhere. But other than that, we kind of have to stick to the major cities.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But anyway.
We're looking to do something in the Middle East, maybe Israel or Dubai or something like that might be coming up on the schedule too.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's basically the end of our program. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out theattractionforums.com, and we're going to have some threads where we're interested in finding out what you guys thought of this, whether some questions you'd like answered, some things you'd like added, and just your feedback. So check out theattractionforums.com and answer those questions. And cheers, guys.
Cheers.
See you maybe next week.
See you later.